Massachusetts. The term scoop students refers to young people. Many of them are aspiring journalists, by the way, who get their news and information from the web, share it with one another, and they are politically energized. I really love doing this, going all over the country and talking to people who are part of an uprising. Speaking of the word uprising, there's a new book out written by David Sirota, who's been a guest on this show on a bevy of occasions. David Sirota is joining us now from Philadelphia. I saw you on Colbert the other day, and he said this is, what did he say? He said you're like Che Guevara, talking or leading a revolt. Is that what's going on in this country with all these people who are newly energized who haven't been before?
I certainly think so. It's a convergence of people's anger at the current establishment and all of these new technologies which allow them to vent their anger. What we saw in the last piece about the internet is absolutely right. People are able to connect together without the permission of an intermediary, without the permission of an establishment.
But you know what this makes me harken back to? I remember when I think it was Clinton that was running for office, maybe even before Bill Clinton, and we'd see young people on MTV, and the candidates would go there and play their saxophones, and everybody was talking about how young people were really into it. This is different, isn't it? Because that really didn't muster up any big energized support.
That's right. This is about organizing. What's going on across the country, and I reported this book for about a year, going all over the country, what I saw is that technology is bringing people together. It's allowing them to organize. Whereas before, the young people were brought in through a broadcast medium, this is allowing young people to talk to each other, people from all over the country to talk to one another, and most importantly, organize around issues. They can organize around health care. They can organize around fighting the war. So that's what is really, I think, converging here. And
it's really happening all over the country, and I can almost hear viewers who are watching this conversation that you and I are having right now, and the question that they would want me to ask is the following: to whose benefit? What will be the fruit of this in the end?
Well, look, I say in the book that this uprising can go in a progressive direction, or it can go in a more conservative direction. What it is, I think, though, at its core, it needs to be a small d democratic uprising. That democracy is fueled by people being involved. You know, it was the great organizer Saul Alinsky who said the great objective of any movement is to let the people's will become the determining factor. And so all of this technology, all of this organizing, ultimately, you'd hope, helps better express the public's will. Because the problem we have in this country right now is that the establishment is not representing the will of the people on all sorts of issues. The country wants universal health care. The country wants out of Iraq. The country wants a different energy policy, and we're getting none of that.
So these issues are then being reflected by groups on the outside. And by the way, immigration is another big one that people are dealing with as well. They don't feel the government's dealing with it, so they're dealing with it in their own way, and they're matching their own concerns and wits in their own. This is fascinating. Again, the book is called The Uprising. David Sirota joining us from Philadelphia. David, be good.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
All right, man.